Chosen one, you missed it the fourth time. And I'm not saying that to shame you. I'm saying it because God is placing this in front of you right now with urgency. If you don't listen, if you treat this as another passing message, this moment can slip away in a way you can't rewind. Some opportunities don't come back on our schedule. Some doors are not permanent fixtures. They are holy windows. And if you keep postponing what heaven is trying to activate, you may only realize what you lost after it's already moved on. What you are hearing is not coincidence. It is a divine wake-up call, sharp enough to rattle the parts of you that have grown numb and gentle enough to remind you that you are still invited. Life does not always hand out second chances the way we wish it would. Sometimes it offers a lesson 3 times, and the 4th time becomes a threshold. It becomes the moment where the call is no longer subtle. It becomes the moment where you either step forward or you repeat the cycle again. When you look back, you can probably name the signs you ignored, the nudges you felt and dismissed, the chances that almost found you until you convinced yourself you were not ready, not worthy, not prepared, not there yet. And I have watched this happen to countless people. God opens a door and we walk past it because we assume we can return later. We tell ourselves, I'll handle it when the timing is better. And then later comes and we realize the door has already closed. Not because God was cruel, but because the season moved. That's why this message isn't casual advice. It's not a motivational speech to make you feel good for a moment. It's a lifeline. It's an alignment point. It's a chance to respond before the opportunity becomes a memory, because something is changing for you, and it begins the instant you stop hearing and start listening. Here's what is happening. When you pay attention, when you truly engage with this, your reality begins to shift. Not as a fantasy, not as wishful thinking, but as a spiritual rearranging that happens when a soul finally agrees with what God has been saying all along. Doors you assumed were sealed begin to loosen. Paths you thought were blocked begin to open. Connections you prayed for begin to form. And what you've been asking God for won't only appear someday in the distance. It will start moving toward you with speed and precision you didn't expect. This is bigger than manifestation. This is spiritual timing. This is heaven's order intersecting your obedience. And spiritual timing responds to readiness, not to noise, not to ego, not to fantasy. Readiness. If you feel an inner pull right now, that sense that you cannot scroll past this, that quiet pressure that says stay, don't leave, don't dismiss it again. Understand what that is. It's God confirming that this is your moment. It's your spirit recognizing a turning point before your mind talks you out of it. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Psalm 37 verse 23. Before you move on, do 3 simple things, because we are building a gathering of people who are ready to respond, not just consume. Hit the like button, subscribe so we can reach 50,000 chosen ones, and comment the number 99. Let it be your marker, your public yes, your signal that you are not letting the moment pass again. Share this with anyone you know who keeps missing their signs. And stay until the very end, because if you are truly a chosen one, your life will not remain the same after what you're about to understand. Everything in this message is designed to awaken you, to educate you, and to push you into decisive action. The time is now, and God is not waiting the way procrastination wants you to believe He will. Listen carefully. The 4th time is never just a coincidence. In life, patterns repeat because they are trying to teach you. They're trying to warn you. They're trying to guide you, like a river carving a channel through land. Repetition shapes destiny over time. Patient, persistent, unstoppable until change becomes inevitable. You may overlook the first 2 or 3 passes. Most people do. The first time feels like an accident. The second feels like a strange echo. The third feels like pressure. But the 4th time, this is where hesitation meets consequence. This is where a decision is demanded. It is not superstition. It is structure. It is not fear. It is responsibility. It is the moment where life and heaven together insist. You can't keep postponing what you were called to carry. Each repetition contains a lesson, often wrapped in subtlety. People usually recognize these lessons only in retrospect, when the opportunity has already passed and regret becomes a teacher. But when the fourth time arrives, the universe, through circumstances, through relationships, through inner conviction, begins to force alignment, not to harm you but to awaken you. It is as though a celestial clock is ticking, and the sound is not meant to panic you, but to remind you readiness is no longer optional. This is the lesson. Awareness without action is incomplete. Insight without obedience is unfinished. You can notice signs and still miss destiny if you keep hesitating at thresholds. And yes, hesitation at the threshold can cost more than opportunity. It can delay an entire chapter of your life. To understand the fourth time is to see life not as random events, but as a sequence of thresholds, moments where the invisible becomes visible, where preparation meets opportunity, where God says this is the turn. And thresholds require three things: reflection, discernment, and courage. The patterns that brought you here are your teachers. Each warning is like a gentle tap at first. Each recurrence is a mirror showing what needs correction. And when you finally recognize the fourth moment for what it is, it becomes a pivot. It becomes the turning point where you shift from reactive living to intentional living, from drifting to choosing, from surviving to stewarding the life you were meant to create. Timing is rarely accidental. The reason this moment is presenting itself now is because your life has reached a convergence, experience, insight, and circumstance colliding into readiness. Waiting longer would risk the energy dissipating. It would dilute the lesson. It would weaken the clarity. In the natural order, timing matters as much as action. A seed planted in the wrong season doesn't thrive no matter how much you want it to. The same is true for your calling. Every divine message arrives when it is needed, not when it is convenient. To ignore it is to invite delay, to postpone growth, and to risk repeating cycles unnecessarily. And if you're honest, you've repeated some cycles long enough. The appearance of this message now is also a sign of internal alignment. Something in you has been shifting quietly. Perhaps your mindset has matured. Perhaps certain relationships have been exposed. Perhaps you've grown weary of distractions that used to satisfy you. Maybe you've been pruning things you can't even explain. That's not random. That's preparation. Life has a way of orchestrating conditions so the individual is ready. Not rushed, not pressured into panic, but positioned. And when you look back on your past turning points, you realize that every now carried a different weight. Some now moments were too early, some were too late. But the now that truly changes you is the one shaped by unseen design. Understanding that truth turns anxiety into confidence. It turns hesitation into motion. And there's another layer. The immediacy of this message is a test of your commitment to awareness. It is a call to engage fully, to sharpen perception, and to step into responsibility with courage. Warnings aren't delivered lightly. If heaven is pressing this into you now, it's because you're capable of meeting the challenge. Delay may feel comforting, but comfort is often the disguise of stagnation. How long will you hesitate between two opinions? 1 Kings 18 verse 21. That question is not condemnation. It is confrontation. It asks you to choose. Recognizing the significance of now is the first act of intentional living. Admitting that this moment is both invitation and responsibility. And that leads us to what it truly means to be chosen. Being chosen is not exemption from struggle. It is not a guarantee that life will be easier. In fact, it often means the opposite. Being chosen amplifies responsibility. It calls you to integrity, discipline, and wisdom. Many people misunderstand this. They think being chosen means being favored in a way that removes accountability. But the higher the calling, the heavier the weight. Every opportunity carries obligation. Every insight demands action. Every privilege tests how you will wield it. Responsibility over privilege means embracing refinement instead of avoiding it. The path of purpose is rarely smooth. The trials along the way are not punishments. They are tools. They refine character. They sharpen discernment. They strengthen resilience. Like steel forged in fire, your clarity is strengthened through pressure. And if you ignore responsibility while claiming chosen, you betray both yourself and the potential God has placed inside you. Success is not simply a gift dropped into your hands. It is the fruit of conscious, disciplined action aligned with higher insight. When you grasp that obstacles stop looking like curses and start functioning like instruments, every test becomes a mirror reflecting readiness and courage. Every discomfort becomes an invitation to refine your focus, your discipline, your obedience. Being chosen is not about favor. It's about capacity. The capacity to rise above distraction, doubt, and fear. The capacity to stand with clarity in storms. The capacity to honor the responsibility inherent in your calling. Everything in life moves by cause and effect, whether we acknowledge it or not. Thoughts, decisions, habits, these create ripples. Circumstances are rarely random. They are often the harvest of seeds planted long before. Divine timing works within that framework. It is preparation meeting opportunity at the precise moment where impact is maximized. It is not magic. It is not chance. It is the unfolding of readiness meeting assignment. Understanding this changes how you interpret your life. Events stop being meaningless obstacles or lucky coincidences. They become signals. They become indicators that preparation is meeting opportunity. When a calling arrives, it often arrives because previous choices, conscious or unconscious, have created fertile ground for the next step. Sometimes a lifetime of seemingly unrelated experiences converges into a single moment of clarity. That's why awakenings happen at different times for different people. Some awaken early, some awaken late, some awaken precisely at the fourth time. Because the measure is not human impatience. It is readiness. Readiness to absorb, act, and transform. Every effect in your life is an invitation to examine the causes beneath it and align them with purpose. When you internalize this, uncertainty begins to lose its grip. Life feels less like chaos and more like a structured dance between preparation and opportunity. Moments of urgency stop feeling like panic and start feeling like invitation. Timing becomes a friend rather than an enemy, guiding you toward destiny instead of leaving you at its mercy. Now hear this. Awakening is not merely awareness. Awakening is the integration of knowledge into action. Many people become aware of patterns and still fail to awaken because they never align their behavior with what they know. Awareness is passive. Awakening is active. You can recognize warnings, notice repetitions, and still remain stuck without deliberate movement. It is the difference between seeing a map and walking the road. Awakening requires courage, discipline, decisiveness. It requires moving from recognition to responsibility, from insight to action. Without that movement, clarity becomes hollow. You know, but you do not change. You see, but you do not move. And that creates frustration. History is filled with examples, thinkers, leaders, builders who had moments of insight. But transformation only came when they obeyed what they understood. Awakening is the bridge between potential and realization. And if you want to meet the fourth time moment prepared, you must go beyond observation and step into alignment. Seeing clearly, thinking critically, acting decisively. This is where focus becomes sacred. Focus is more than concentration. It is the ability to channel energy, thought, and intention toward a singular purpose, even in chaos. Focus is the bridge between awareness and outcome. Without it, knowledge dissipates. Lessons are forgotten. Opportunities slip through your hands. The mind is like a river. It needs direction. When it flows without purpose, it erodes potential instead of nourishing it. Developing focus is discipline. It is daily alignment of thought, emotion, and action with what actually matters. Spiritual focus is tied to mental clarity. Reflection, stillness, and deliberate observation refine discernment. Like a sculptor removing excess stone, focus chips away distraction and reveals purpose. Look at the people who changed history. Their breakthroughs were not accidents. They were sustained attention. They were clarity. They were persistence. Cognitive discipline strengthens resilience against the daily noise of life. Stimuli, emotions, distractions. Focus lets you sift through the chaos, recognize patterns, discern opportunity, respond with precision. Before anything manifests externally, internal readiness is required. Seeds of destiny only grow when conditions align. Preparation is the soil. Discipline is the water. Wisdom is the light. Acting prematurely creates collapse. Waiting without preparation creates stagnation. True readiness balances patience and action. Preparation is not passive. It is cultivation. It is practice, learning from failure, refining strategy, strengthening resilience. Like an athlete training for a championship or a musician preparing for the performance of a lifetime, readiness demands groundwork. Every hour spent learning, reflecting, sharpening your skills compounds into advantage when the decisive moment arrives. Readiness also requires humility. It demands self-awareness, knowing what you need, what must be healed, what must be corrected, what must be released. This builds confidence, not from arrogance, but from mastery. Destiny does not favor those who rush blindly. It favors those who honor the moment with commitment and presence. Education, then, is not merely collecting information. It is aligning the mind with truth. True learning equips you to see patterns, discern subtle signals, act with wisdom. Life is a classroom, but the lessons are often hidden inside mistakes, setbacks, relationships, and delays. Those who study their lives deliberately learn to recognize signals others miss. Aligned education also requires confronting uncomfortable truths. It demands courage to question assumptions, humility to admit what you don't know, resilience to apply truth when it's difficult. Knowledge without alignment creates confusion. Aligned knowledge creates discernment. Life is rarely orderly. Chaos is always nearby. And inside chaos are hidden signals, patterns, messages, opportunities. Clarity in chaos is cultivated through awareness and disciplined observation. Signals show up as intuition, repeated themes, unusual coincidences, moments of resonance. Like constellations in a dark sky, they guide those who know how to look. This is not superstition. It is trained perception. It is learning to respond rather than react. Emotional regulation is crucial. Fear, doubt, impatience distort interpretation. Composure allows you to see correctly. And when you develop clarity, adversity becomes a guide instead of an enemy. Now the truth that ties it all together. Belief alone is insufficient. Faith must move. Conviction must become action. Intention must become behavior. Otherwise, faith remains dormant, untested, and proven unproductive. Whatever you do, do it with all your might. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 10. That is not mere productivity. It is wholeheartedness. It is alignment. Action is the proof of conviction. It bridges understanding and transformation. Without action, even deep insight remains abstract. Every great change in history began with belief, but it succeeded through consistent, purposeful action. Each step taken, small, faithful, disciplined, builds momentum toward destiny. Faith and action are inseparable. Belief fuels courage. Action tests endurance. Together they create transformation. Hesitation erodes possibility. Decisive steps guided by wisdom shape reality. If you want to meet the fourth time moment fully prepared, faith must be active. Belief must be embodied. And yes, ignoring the call has consequences. Moments of urgency rarely repeat forever. Neglect is not neutral. It erodes confidence, diminishes growth, strengthens avoidance patterns. Inaction turns potential into stagnation. Missed opportunities become regrets that echo for years. Avoiding responsibility weakens resilience and makes future opportunities harder to seize. The antidote is awareness paired with decisive action. Responding prevents loss. Engaging fully transforms potential into reality. Life rewards those who respond, not those who delay. Alignment is the harmony between what you desire, what you think, and what you do. Without alignment, energy leaks, progress stalls, intention gives direction. Thought shapes strategy. Action executes. When these converge, life becomes coherent. Integrity deepens. Decisions simplify. Momentum increases. Alignment is not static. It's a practice. Life will test coherence. You will face distractions, shifting circumstances, emotional storms, but reflection and disciplined adjustment keep you aligned, ensuring each step moves you toward meaningful outcomes. Timing is both art and science. Life moves in seasons. Growth, pause, refinement, release. Recognizing cycles allows precision. Misjudging timing wastes effort. Understanding cycles builds foresight. Opportunities flourish when readiness meets circumstance. Too early reduces impact. Too late creates regret, but precise timing multiplies results. Setbacks will come, but they are not evidence of failure. They are teachers. Resilience is the capacity to absorb setbacks, extract wisdom, rise stronger. Every obstacle carries a lesson. Every loss carries insight. Every challenge can become a stepping stone. Resilience requires reflection, learning patterns, refining strategy. It requires perspective. Knowing failure is part of growth. Emotional stability enables clear thinking and decisive action, even under pressure. And resilience turns experience into wisdom, preparing you for greater responsibility. Now listen to me, chosen one. This is the line. This is the pivot. This is the threshold. The fourth time is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you. It is the moment where heaven says, "Stop delaying the chapter I've been trying to open." It is the moment where your excuses finally run out, and your responsibility finally stands up. You can keep drifting. You can keep observing. You can keep saying later, and you can keep repeating, or you can cross the threshold, because the fourth time is never just a coincidence. It is a call to action, and you were born to answer it. If this message is landing in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs strength today. And if you want to leave a sign of agreement in the comments, type Amen, or even 99 as a marker that you're choosing faith over fear, alignment over anxiety, purpose over the past. Not as superstition, but as a simple act of unity, a way of saying, God, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm ready.